episode of Wedtalks, and we have a wedding spotlight today. We're here with Chloe, who was our bride, and Brittany, who was her wedding planner.
Hello.
We're so excited to kind of recap the wedding and just talk about all the fun things.
Oh, yeah.
We've already been talking off camera. We should have just recorded.
Yeah, we should have. I don't know if people would have enjoyed that as much, but
Maybe they would have.
So when did you get
too
married,
long.
Chloe? Was it June?
it was late May, so
Late
Memorial
May.
Day weekend.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
it was this past May?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it seems
What?
like forever ago.
That's why I'm excited to talk about it, because it's like, I don't know. It was the best
was so
time
fun.
ever. Yeah.
It was a beautiful day.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean,
She still talks about it today.
Yeah. To everybody. Everyone's like, okay, that's enough.
you're like, I'll never be over it.
I'm still a bride.
Yeah.
But what do you think was your favorite part of your day?
Gosh. Okay. So obviously marrying my husband.
For sure.
Yes. But in terms of the wedding, I don't think I'll ever just get over the florals.
The florals
And
were
obviously
amazing.
your venue and that together is what really accented that. But it's like I mean, I knew they were going to be extravagant, but it's like seeing that, I literally felt like I was walking into heaven. I'm like getting butterflies talking about it again.
People don't
I might cry.
understand. They don't.
Yeah.
I wish I could make people understand like why flowers are such an impactful
Yes.
part of your day, but it really was beautiful in the color.
Yes.
Like,
They were
so
perfect.
The process, though, to get there, Chloe, the reason why I liked Chloe as a bride is because she knew what she wanted. And we presented her this color palette, and she was like, actually, it's beautiful, but I
no.
needed to go somewhere else. So we went
Yeah.
up and we went down. And then she was like, this is stunning. And I'm like, all right, let's run with this. And
Yeah.
then,
And that was hard because I love color in general. So you could give me a bunch of blues and I would love it. You could give me a bunch of oranges and pinks and I would love it. So it was hard to nail down what will I want to like still see 10 years from now, looking back at my photos and being like, oh my gosh, I still love this.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. It was like that spring transition into summer. So you wanted a lot of the springy colors, but also the warm summer colors too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
it
I
was
love
just-
that you did a lot of green.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
people are like, I feel
Scared
like
of-
lately
they are.
scared of greenery.
Yeah.
I love green.
Me too. And I think like it complements certain flowers beautifully.
Yes.
And it fills like the arrangements. To
Mm-hmm.
do tall, huge arrangements in this space, it's crucial. Like
Yeah.
if you're going to do florals, go big or go home.
You have to
Yes.
because your ceilings as well. Like,
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful space and you have the ceiling. So sometimes it's best to go up and people don't realize that.
Yeah. And I also think that like if the space is beautiful. So if you don't have the budget to do large scale floral installations, you can tone it down and just go small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like don't do small, tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. And
Yeah.
I think too, my mindset was kind of the Southern look of, you guys have a lot of the white and the big farmhouse kind of like look, but the green in like down in the South, they use a lot of greenery to accent that white, really pretty farmhouse color. So I thought that would really add something to it as well. So yeah, I mean, it was perfect.
I mean, where we started from and where we ended, both were going to be crazy. I mean, what we ended with was beautiful, but I think it started with like arches, that was going to be, but it just wasn't really for Chloe and Brooke. So we decided to do something else and it
It
turned
was just
out-
very classy.
Yeah, it was very classy and it turned out perfect.
Well, should I mention about telling my dad with the flowers and the margaritas?
Oh, so Chloe's parents were very involved in terms of, like wanting to have questions and things like that.
Which makes sense because they
Well,
were
yeah.
familiar with, how things have changed since they had their wedding.
I feel like your
Yes.
parents were so easy.
Oh, they
they
were.
were.
It
They
was like
were.
a good involved.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
it was a good thing. It
Yeah.
was like it was my first interaction. Like I've had interactions with parents before, but I've never had like a sit down. And she was like, "We should just go to
At a Mexican
for
restaurant.
Mexican and have margaritas, and then you just present the floral cost to them."
helps everything go a little easy.
it just because
Give them a couple margaritas.
because it wasn't
Yeah.
a little bit of money. So
Yeah.
we went and I was telling my husband, I was like, how do I present? Like, I know how to present, but I'm like, this is a lot of money for flowers. And he's like, just be yourself, be chill. And so it was really funny, the interaction, like it went really well, but Chloe ended up stepping outside to like take a breather because she was getting nervous.
Well, we talked. My dad and I went and talked.
yeah. So her
outside.
and her dad went outside to talk and I was with her mom and her mom was like, he's going to do it.
Well, it was cute because he goes, what is the most important thing to you on your wedding day? And he's thinking I'm going to say my wedding dress. Because my daddy and we've always been going shopping together since we were little. He loves to pick out things for, that is our thing that we've always done. And he thought I was going to say wedding dress. And I just go florals. And I could see he was like, oh, this like after 2 margaritas.
He's like, oh, another thing.
He's like, wait, more than the dress? And I'm like, I know I can find an amazing dress no matter the budget. Like you really can these days.
Yeah.
And I wasn't worried about that. It was more of just like, okay, this is the thing. And he's like, okay, you know, well, this is the thing we'll make happen for sure, you know? Yeah. So it was just cool. I think he was a little taken back by that, but it was the little girl in me that came out because I'm a tomboy in a lot of aspects. And this was my chance to like kind of be a little girl again and like add all the florals and like make that come to life.
When would be another time in your whole life that you're going to be able to have florals like that?
Yes.
Around you?
Yeah, I can't.
Besides your funeral.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it's a different color scheme.
Yeah. She's like, can you make sure that the colors are different?
Hot pink.
Yeah. Reach out to Haba about that.
Literally.
Who did your florals?
Floral Play did.
Floral Play.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's Floral Play.
So good.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she also, just as a human,
It's
cares
just the kindest,
so much.
sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about her because I get so sentimental with people that just like
Care.
and she's definitely one of those people.
Yeah. Well, their team was amazing. And
Her presentation.
Yeah. Their team is in and out.
and like just professional and like
Yes,
easy to work with
yes.
because we did your linens and like the chargers and stuff on the head table. So we were setting at the same time that they were.
Okay.
And I don't really do that for many weddings. I did it for you.
Thank you so
But
much.
so I just remember how great they were like to work around. They're like, oh, do you need space here or this? And like
They're easy.
They're easy.
Yeah.
And you need
And
something
you're
to be easy on that day.
Yes. And you're a team. They know it's a team effort.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not all vendors are like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We-
And just
we
the
love her.
outfit they showed up in, the way they presented, it reminded me of you guys. Like you are very careful with what you're wearing and how you present, you know, who you guys are as staff even. And so for them to show up, they had little matching outfits on.
Yeah.
And like, I think even Stephanie got some pictures of them.
Yeah,
Because they were so cute.
And when they come in, it's like other florists will stop and say like, "Hi, how are you?" And that's really nice. But she'll walk past you and be like, "Hey, Brittany."
It was a whole
As
moment.
she's like carrying, she just like gets in there and gets started. And
yeah.
She's there for the business.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I even
no.
told Brooks, like, future anniversary gift, just an idea. Like, reach out to her and have her make like a small version of my bouquet because it just, it was
so
just,
pretty.
it meant so much. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Well, there has to be one thing you regretted. There has to be one thing.
So we were just talking and we were like, wow, there, nothing went wrong,
yeah, we was
which
like,
is
what-
really great.
What did go wrong? And I was like, I don't recall anything. I mean, there is something that happened at the very, very end of the night, but it was just like
I don't even know.
Exactly. Regards
You
to
won't ever.
it's regards to like something that someone in the venue did. Like no big deal.
Yeah.
But nothing went wrong.
I would say this is hard to even bring up because it meant so much to Brooks. So I'm glad we did it because of that. He wanted to see me down the aisle for the first time.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't want to go back. I wouldn't want to go back and change that. But if that hadn't been a big deal to him, I think I would have wanted to do a first look because I would have wanted to be at the cocktail hour. So we still did a 90-minute cocktail hour and we didn't have time to go to that. Yeah. And because of that, we spent a lot of our reception saying hi to people, which is still, people do that, but I kind of wanted to let loose and dance more. Mm-hmm. And I ended up dancing a lot and Brooks ended up going and shaking everyone's hands because I was like, they can come to me if they want to say, I hate to say this, but I was not in the mood for like walking around and like saying hi to everybody.
You want to have fun.
Yes.
Yeah, she very much was on the dance floor the entire time.
With a beer. Like that's just what I was doing, but
This is like a good follow-up though, because we had a reel go viral. It's got a ton of views. And it was because my bride said her biggest regret was a first look, was not doing a first look.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And people like don't understand the why behind it.
I didn't before.
That you don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of different aspects to why you should do it and why. I mean, I understand why people don't want to. Yes. But it's like you have more time. You have there's options. You can go to a cocktail hour. Mm-hmm. You can have like private moments with your significant other before. It helps the photographers. It just like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of positives to it, and some people would say that there's a lot of negatives to it. So it's really, I guess, based on opinion. But I'm a fan of first looks.
And I'm not talking like some people got it twisted. Like I'm not saying if you're going to go to a church at 2:00 that you need to have a first look.
Yeah.
No, you have a
No.
gap in between the weddings.
That's different.
Right.
You can do pictures in between.
5:00 weddings are completely different.
5:00 weddings all at one venue. You need to do a first look if you care about pictures.
Yeah.
If you don't care about pictures,
I kind
who
of wish I
cares?
had. Yeah.
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 But it's also hard because Brooks and I's relationship is so meaningful to us, and like that moment. I mean, I know everyone would say that, but for us, like we are a very sentimental couple. So that moment, like
Meant a lot.
Yeah.
I don't
It's a
know
trade-off.
what I would. Yeah, but
It's not a regret, but you understand the other side of it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know anything. I mean, I know how our cocktail hour went based on other people telling us, but I don't like that. I kind of wish I would have like been able to be there
Yeah,
for
for
You
sure.
like, did not skimp. Like you did all the signature cocktails.
Yeah.
You had all the fun things for the guests.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
You didn't really get to
Enjoy.
experience it and
No,
see
someone
it.
stole my margarita. I was telling you that the other day.
She was
you
like,
brought me
"Someone
that
stole-"
really nice margarita when we were getting ready. I set it down for 5 seconds, come back, it's gone. One of my bridesmaids looks at me. Whoops. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Those were so
We
good.
always try and sneak one up to if they have signature cocktails.
Yes.
We try and sneak one to you at some point, whether it's like you guys as a couple, so you make sure you see it and get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when
I
the
think
bride
too,
is
I'm really good about going to the bar and saying like, hey, can I get a drink for the bride and groom? And I'll take it to them and I'm like, do you need anything?
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like harping on those margaritas. Like those margaritas were so delicious.
Oh,
Did
need
our
that recipe.
bartender, after you guys walked down the aisle, give you a champagne?
yes.
Oh my gosh, so it's like a big joke now. I have this hilarious reel of him.
Okay.
Because he like likes to be out front and center. Like,
Okay.
we're like, Connor, do you like everybody to see you giving the champagne?
Clearly
oh my
he does.
gosh.
Clearly.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
We had one couple. He stood in the doorway, you know, when you come back down the aisle, and I had to tell him, I'm like, Connor, you have to hide. But he is standing there, and the couple was so like into each other that they
And he's just there.
They
Just
just walked
Walk
right
right past him. That's
my
hilarious.
gosh, that is so fun. Well, because it's true on your wedding day, you're not really like
No,
looking
you're-
around you.
And plus, you're just walking down the aisle too.
Yeah.
You're like you just got married and you're so excited, and so you. I would have missed
It
them.
was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And I put hilarious
Yeah.
music to it. I never posted it, but I should.
You totally
You
should.
I know.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. But no, like those drinks for real, all the signature drinks were so good. It wouldn't
It's
change a
definitely
single
worth
thing.
the splurge on doing things for your guests to
Yeah.
like elevate their experience. So,
Yeah.
all
And
about
I feel
guest
like
experience.
I talk about it a lot, but I'm not just saying it to upsell you on a signature drink. Like
No,
truly, money
yeah.
aside, like I don't give a shit about the money. It alleviates lines.
Mhm.
The drinks are good. It's
Yeah.
part of the guest experience. Like it's a big part of the wedding day,
Yeah.
having good drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never felt like you were, I mean, I'm in sales myself, so I never felt like you were, like, it was a very genuine, like, no, you're going to want this.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we did because I think we had 3.
Yeah, you had a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot because we got 2 dogs. We had to name 2 of them after 2 dogs.
And signature drink signs. so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Well, and we do it like a certain way too, where
Uh-huh.
we will pass signature drinks at cocktail hour.
Right.
And it just helps with the flow of things.
Yes,
It's not
I
just
agree.
putting like a cranberry vodka with a sign on it with your dog's name.
Yeah. Well, and I'm
So.
excited. So one of his groomsmen and one of his best friends is getting married this coming, I think, Memorial Day weekend. And we're going to be at that. It'll be fun to be a guest and to get to try,
Aw.
because I know they'll probably do all that fun stuff too, but
Yeah.
kind of get to try it from that perspective because I didn't get to try. I think I was just drinking margaritas the whole night.
Literally.
That's your favorite, right?
It is,
I
yeah.
mean,
But apparently the old fashioned was real good.
oh yeah, we're like known for our old fashions.
And the Aperol spritz.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
actually, fun fact, we had to up our bar pricing because 2024, like
Yeah.
it is what it is.
that happens
Yeah,
every year,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah, and we enjoy making the drinks so much now. We just include all the old fashions now.
Oh, really?
So like we
That's really
raised
nice.
we raised the bar pricing,
But it's part of it. So
we included old fashions, margaritas, and something else. So
Okay.
it's more per person.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, like for us, we don't like saying no.
Right.
When
yeah.
someone comes up and we have all the things to be able
I
to
get
make an
that.
amazing,
Yeah.
you know, and, it
and you
means-
know it's going to be good and they're going to like it. So it
Yeah,
is hard
for
to
sure.
say no.
Yeah, and like, you know, there were some things that we need to keep on hand that we didn't, like fresh
Mhm.
lime juice. Like we bought juicers and like all those sorts of things. But
Yeah.
to us, that's like what elevates our place.
Yes.
So like we wanted it at every wedding.
Yeah.
Like there's no option to not have it now.
Oh, no,
unless
for
you
sure.
do beer and wine, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that.
Well, and it's little things like that. Like when people ask me, oh, did you like getting married at Westman? It's like, not only did I like it, but I felt so taken care of.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a single, like between both of you, like I knew if you needed something, like it's not necessarily your job, but you would hop in and be like, okay, we'll make sure everything goes well. Cause
for sure.
It also represents your venue too.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, I mean, there wasn't a single doubt in my mind.
And that's like what people don't understand is a venue coordinator is very different than
A wedding planner.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we are there to look out for the venue and the guest
Right.
experience.
Yeah.
And obviously take care of the bride and groom too.
Mm-hmm.
But a planner is there to fully service the couple like all day long, from steaming the dress, making sure things get moved around, making sure things get packed up, like all the things that you don't think about.
Right.
It's just such a different.
It
Do
helps.
you now get it? Like,
Yeah, it completely helps when you have both, especially if they can get along. But it helps when you have both because the venue's not going to do that. Like again, it's a venue coordinator. They're
I've heard nightmare stories.
Turning the lights on and making sure like the bar is good. They're not like carrying Chloe's dress, walking around or saying like, hey, when is Floral going to get here? When is the band going to get here?
It's not because we don't want to.
It's not because it's not your
can't.
job.
Yeah.
We're worried about the venue.
We literally don't have time because there's so many other things going on.
Exactly.
That we're focused on those things.
Yes. No,
So-
totally. I mean, we just felt so well taken care of. And
Good.
I'm not saying I was the last of my friends like to get married, but I was like, I had been to enough weddings where I had seen kind of the nightmare stories of other venues and other weddings in general and other wedding planners. And so it was really good to kind of know, okay, this is what I absolutely have to have for me. Mm-hmm. So that definitely
And
helped.
are you glad you hired like a full service?
Oh, yeah.
Like start to finish?
Yes. No, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Well, and Brittany's just so chill. So like I'm not going to say I'm not chill, but I'm more high strung, you know, and I think it helps me get stuff done, but you do need somebody that kind of can calm you down and be like, girl, chill. Like you're fine.
Yeah, I think it was easy.
You did say that to me a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like there's ways to get things done, and there's like structure to everything effectively, right? Mm-hmm. However, some things are not as serious as some brides. Like, I'm not saying it's not serious to them, but it's easily fixable, or it's easily like you can easily change things.
It's just not a big deal.
It's just like having someone there to say like, listen, we'll fix it. It's not that big deal. Mm-hmm. Like, just be calm. Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm such a calm person. So, I mean, I do my job well and I do it the same as others, slightly different, but I also just want to like relate in like the calm way, if that makes any sense.
Which you did perfectly.
Yeah. Like if she was like, cause Chloe, I would say, what is it? Type A brides.
I'm a real estate agent, so I'm like this like, all the time.
So classifying type A to me is just people that like know what they want.
Yeah.
Like Chloe knew what she want, and that to me, I was like, perfect. Like, you don't like this color, let's change it. You don't like this linen swatch, let's change it.
Right.
Like, it's easier to have someone like that versus someone that says like, I don't really know what I want.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of linens, we need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Does she know we changed them? Do you know that they weren't the original?
No, she doesn't.
Now you know. Surprise.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They like the original one you picked.
Yeah.
They only had like X amount of the certain tables.
Okay.
Yeah. So we found one that was like
very
almost
similar.
Exact.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that's the thing too. You get to a point where you're like, I just trust you. Do what you got to do.
This is what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
This is the shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, but if she would have come to you with that, it could have totally stressed you out. You could have been thinking about it for half a day.
Yeah.
And they looked beautiful and you would have never known. Like,
absolutely.
that is where a planner, full service comes in.
Yep.
Well, it's also just emotional intelligence too.
Yeah.
Like knowing those things, knowing, I probably don't need to tell her
difference.
this.
I don't need to
you
relate
know?
this to the bride at all. Like,
yeah.
let's just figure it out and then it'll be fine.
Not bothering them with stressors.
Yeah.
It'd be completely different if she wanted a green linen and she walked in and it was orange.
Totally.
You know, but like a slight pattern change.
It was like a lace overlay, and like instead of it being like an oval, it was like a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just
doesn't.
It was very
phase me.
minute.
Yeah.
Well, because on your wedding day, you're not paying. I mean, I am so detail oriented, but not down to that detail. Like I can't have. I don't have time to go and
really easy
look at all that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Because I know there were enough. I'm kind of looking at you because I'm like, you did tell me to chill a few times.
I mean, because sometimes you did need to just chill a little.
I did.
But you thanked me afterwards. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, you know what? You're right. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
And
no.
then your feelings are valid for like feeling that way. So
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I love when people say that to me.
Yeah, I'm just like, just relax.
Yeah. Well, and again, in my line of work, I do that for people.
Yeah.
So I could tell sometimes when I was like, okay, I'm being a little ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
let's tone it back. Because I've worked with people too, and I don't want to compare it fully, but it's like when people do for sale by owner versus using an agent. There's a big difference. And yes, you can get away with doing it by yourself. Sometimes it works great, but a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's to me the difference between at least involving a planner in the most minuscule way versus not at all.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I just think that
I'm like
it really helped.
I'm a big advocate for a full service planner.
You
Yes.
have to. Like I am a full service wedding planner. So I don't see how I understand the day of coordinator, but truly day of coordinating is not a day.
No.
Like if there are day of coordinators and they come in on the day of the wedding and they have no information, how are you doing that?
Right.
First off, you have no control over anything.
No, so you get a shitstorm. Like the client hired terrible vendors, and then you're expected to like make it miraculously right. It's just
Totally.
It's not even feasible. The term day of coordinator just needs to go away.
Yeah,
Call it month of,
there doesn't
partial.
need to be a new
partial
name.
coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I like
reality
that.
is, even if you're doing that, like I don't do that anymore. But when I did consider it before, like I knew better, calling it day of coordination, it was really 3 months before. Like I would contact them 3 months before and say, like, I need to know all your vendors. I need to have all the information so I can contact them, put together things for your wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even still, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's like partial planning.
Yeah.
It's different. And then I feel like there needs to be like bridal assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
and I guess that's where I kind of go back to Taylor too. One
With
thing that
makeup,
she
yeah.
really helped me with, I was worried because I didn't know if it was going to be super hot that day, if I was going to be sweating more, if I was going to need little touch ups here and there. And so I was like, okay, if I want to splurge a little on having her there the whole day to be there, if I needed, some makeup patted on my face or something like that, it was worth it because she ended up, we're also friends, so it was just nice to have her there.
Yeah.
But she was just around for the little touch-ups and the little things, and she would fix my dress. And again, things that I know you would do too.
Yeah.
But you also had your hands full. You were doing a
Yeah, I
lot.
was
So
doing other
for
things,
those
so it
little
was
things
great
for
to
just
have.
me,
Yeah.
like I was going to say that is one thing I would totally recommend to people.
Yeah, having a day of
A makeup artist.
Yes.
So you book them, instead of booking them for the morning of, you book them for the full day. That doesn't
They
mean
fix
that
your
the
hair.
whole team has to stay. You just have the one makeup artist that basically follows you around until after the wedding.
until like the reception.
Yeah.
Till the reception. And you can either offer to like include them in the guest count so they can like enjoy the wedding because they're there afterward, right? Like they're done working, or they can choose to go home. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I would have had that.
it's something to consider.
It was great, especially because like I know when I'm dancing in my reception, I'm like flipping my hair around, I'm doing everything, and like it was nice to know she was there to be like, okay, come here, let me fix this, or
Yeah.
your extensions are showing, let's fix that. Like,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
that's important because I worry about that stuff,
Yeah.
because you want to be able to have so much fun that you're not worrying about how you look.
Yeah, but you also want to look freaking good.
Exactly.
course.
So
The
it was
wedding.
perfect. It was so worth it.
Yeah.
I would do that 100 times over.
I love that. Well, switching gears, I know Britt like loves to do destination weddings.
Yes.
And obviously you chose to have a wedding in St. Louis.
Mhm.
We do have a few people that you've done even that don't live here.
Yeah.
They got married at Westwood Hills. So this was the destination.
Yeah, technically, it still is destination. Like,
Yeah.
I have had a California bride. I've also had a Utah bride.
Yeah.
that's-
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that have
she was
gotten-
so cute.
Yeah,
some
both of them are.
Someone commented on my Instagram the other day and said, Midwest or a Missouri wedding venue, like who would want to get married there?
A lot of
Let me
people.
talk to them.
Yeah. I was like,
yours is like not a traditional wedding venue anyway.
No.
Just the scale. Is
Forward them my
completely
number. Seriously. I'm not kidding. I will talk to them.
I just said, I think we have 10 out of town couples this year. So
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
like some people.
If I can convince
to
someone to
them,
move
it's a
from there to
destination
here,
wedding.
I can convince them to plan their wedding here.
Yeah.
Because it's just so worth it.
That's the thing though, with destination weddings too, back to that. So Westwood Hills is obviously, we all know it's a stunning venue. The staff here is amazing. I harp on the bar all the time. Even the bar staff is phenomenal. But if you are getting married in St. Louis, if you're not getting married at Westwood, I will always offer to go somewhere else. And it's not just because there are wonderful St. Louis wedding venues. Some of them I haven't had the chance to work at, and some of them I have worked at, and it's just personally not for me, and maybe for some other people. But also too, with destinations, you are spending more money on like the experience of like a weekend or like a week. And usually destinations, there's less people. Like if you live here in St. Louis and you're going to invite 200 people, then absolutely come find a venue, specifically Westman Hills. But come here, get married. But if not, then let's like leave. Yeah. Let's go somewhere.
Well, and I think too, like the Friday weddings, I've talked about this before, but it really is getting more popular because people then want to do something else on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like we had one bride that was going to do like a cardinal suite for all of her guests on Saturday.
That's nice.
And like wanted the wedding on a Friday.
Yeah.
So,
well, wedding days are becoming more of like, it's not just a day.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, you're having the guests come in town, use their own money, which now it's not cheap to fly and be a guest or drive.
No, if you have the budget, like make it a weekend, make it an experience. Like you should just really like do it.
For me, it was a lot of my friends are in a season of having babies. And I'm from St. Louis. A lot of them are from St. Louis or Kansas City or Chicago or within driving distance. And this made sense because also when you get here, you don't feel like you're in St. Louis. You get the charm of the St. Louis traditions are not that far from you, but you are out in the country and it's peaceful and it's perfect. I love it because people will be like, oh, like I haven't been out here. I'm like, I'm from Wildwood, so I'm literally from like, 10 minutes from here. But at the end of the day, I had so much peace. I mean, I had 3 pregnant bridesmaids. That's like where we were at. And some people, and I get it, it's not a huge deal to them. They just want to show up and just them and their fiance are there. And if some people can't make it, that's fine. I wanted Brooks and I to be there, but I also wanted our people there. And that meant doing something local.
Yeah. And if it makes sense, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's always the option. So.
Yeah. I love, and I know you love destination weddings.
I do, but I mean,
as a guest, I'm not going to lie.
It's a lot.
It stresses me out.
It stresses me out, especially now having kids. It's just, unless you're like on my like A-list friend group.
And that's part of it though, right?
That's
like,
part of it. It's
who
small,
can travel?
right? Intimate.
Usually they're intimate.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a week thing. Like if they're not providing babysitters for, the guests that are traveling or there's a lot of events. There's like a lot that goes into it. I think the misconception is that destinations are easier and they're not.
Totally.
They're harder.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that they're not fun.
Yeah.
Well, like my brother.
It's like you're not traveling to work, you're working to travel.
Yeah.
And I think that's the misconception. So
my brother,
although I do love them, I do love local weddings. However, I just personally feel if they're not at a certain caliber, for me personally, then it's like, I understand like love is love and I love love, right? Like having luxury to me or having an expensive wedding is getting married. Like if you're not going to a courthouse, even spending $30,000 on a wedding is a lot of money.
100%.
But luxury, and you have the chance to get married, right? So it's like you were spending, you have the opportunity to get married. So you're taking a lot of money to do it. And if you're going to do it, then you should just, that made 0 sense.
Yeah.
No, but I get what you're saying. Yep. Like it's an investment.
It is. It's all an investment. So it's
it doesn't matter what you're spending. Like,
that doesn't mean that your $30,000 wedding is less than somebody that's spending $150,000 wedding. Like it's not. It's just gonna look a lot different.
Yeah, and I think that's hard to. And I mean, obviously, you were shocked probably a little bit even with your floral.
Oh yeah.
Cost.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to like. These brides see all these things on Pinterest and Instagram, and they just think that like,
Pinterest is very misleading.
Yeah.
Although Pinterest is great for a lot of things. I've had clients come to me and they have this Pinterest board, and I'm like, realistically, that's your budget doesn't work. Like, I feel like that's the misconception is they see something and they're like, well, I have this budget and that's what I want to do, and I'm like, get rid of 75% of that stuff because it's not going to work. At least now, not in this time. So Pinterest is great for a lot of things, but we just have to be realistic about the way that things cost for florals, especially like the cost of florals has gone up significantly. So
everything.
Yeah. Well,
the cost of
literally everything.
We'll talk about that after.
Yeah. I mean,
but if you can afford it, then you should do it.
No, 100%. I have people that still contact us. And I mean, I'm not trying to be like rude by saying this.
Yeah.
But if you think that you can have a wedding with 5 hours of open bar and food in a nice meal for your guests for less than $100 a person, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
I mean, for me when I go to Bread Company for lunch for a shitty sandwich, and I'm not even sorry about it. Like Bread Company used to be
$15.
It's it was like $22 for you pick two with like my tea the other day.
I know.
Well, yeah, that's for but like it's insane.
You sound so
Yeah.
St. Louis right now, and I love it. I love it.
Bread
She-
co.
Because I was
Lauren is a
thinking that
pick two
too.
girl at
I'm a
Bread
pick
Co.
two.
Yeah.
Tuna on sourdough. I mean, now I feel like it's glorified hospital food. It
No,
used to be
it's not
good.
that great
I mean,
anymore.
I don't like St. Louis Bread Company food, but sorry.
Just kidding.
It's like when
No,
it's
I
Brooks
do
good,
love their
it's good.
smoothies though.
Yeah, when it's good, it's good. But
Yeah.
when it's bad, it's
Really
hospital
bad.
food.
Well, I do want to emphasize really quick, going back to that destination thing, and then I'll be done.
Yeah.
But my brother and his fiance are likely going to get married in Charleston. But it makes sense for them because he's from here and she's from Houston, and they're old souls and they love the old architectural, old vibes there. That makes sense for them. If they can afford that and that is perfect for them, I'm happy that they're doing that. But like Brooks and I, like we are St. Louis people.
Yeah.
We both are. And this was where we felt like we connected. Like we instantly connected.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Brooks being a guy, sometimes the guys don't care as much. They're just like, do whatever. We walked in here and we're like, got emotional.
Yeah.
This
How
was
many
it.
people did you guys have again? Wasn't it 300?
We invited
was
I think we
close.
invited like 320.
Yeah,
but
it was
because
close.
it was a holiday weekend.
A lot of
there were a
people
lot of people that
couldn't come.
couldn't.
I remember you were close to the 300 mark.
And I think at one point, she
Yeah.
definitely was.
Yeah.
And then even that, I was like, you know that you're gonna have to spend a lot more money.
Well,
And that
that's-
helped us want to be local too. That's
Yeah.
the thing is like, I know my brother, they want something a little more intimate. It makes sense. Go do your thing, you know? Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be incredible too.
Well,
But
that's the thing too. I don't push destination weddings. Like if somebody comes to me and they're a local St. Louis bride, then I'll do a local St. Louis wedding. I'm just saying that I do offer
Yeah.
destinations.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's an option. I'm willing to travel. I'm willing to help you plan it.
no one's
Fine.
mad once
Yeah.
they're in a cool city doing cool stuff. But
Of course, yeah.
the logistics, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I made a whole reel on this just to jump gears about why we don't have a preferred vendor list at a venue.
Yeah. You want to hear my take on that?
Yeah.
So I think secretly planners, I'm speaking for myself, everyone secretly has a preferred vendor list. It just,
For sure.
It is what it is. But when they do, it doesn't mean that they're not willing to work with new people. However, to me, my preferred vendor list is just people that I've worked with that communicate well, that produce great products, and you know that they're reliable, right? So it's like, okay, well, if they fit the style of something that the couple wants, then of course you're going to refer them because you have a relationship with them.
For sure.
But
For
that
sure.
doesn't mean that everyone else is just like out of the picture.
But you're not going to take a list and slide it to Chloe.
No, absolutely not.
Of 10
no,
florists.
Yeah.
I only
Yeah.
recommend when I'm asked. So
Yeah.
like if Chloe's like, hey, do you recommend a photographer or videographer? I'll say, yeah, of course. Like I've worked with this, right. But if you're not comfortable with any of those, we can look elsewhere.
Yeah.
I also did like though that I did have some people that I considered, and you came to me and you're like, they are great, but if you want to splurge a little more here, we can maybe drop the cost for this one by using this person instead.
Yeah.
And they're just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I really liked that because I could easily say, no, you know, we're still gonna stick to them. But I still liked knowing like, oh, okay, maybe we can do this a little
Yeah.
less expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our thing is like when people inquire, we have a budget line.
Right.
And they have to put in like what their budget range is.
Haha, that was fun
the
for
wedding.
us.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care, truthfully. Like, I don't care if you put $20,000 or $500,000. What I sell you as the venue is going to be zero difference
Yeah.
of somebody that is getting married. Because for us, the bar and the venue are the same. It
Right.
does not matter the
Totally.
price of the wedding. I'm putting that there because I want people to tell me what their budget range is. And then once we get to know them a little bit better,
Totally.
we can point them in the right direction of who would be a good fit within that budget range. And alternatively, if people reach out and they put that they have a 300 person guest list and they want to do the wedding under $30,000, I'm going to tell them there's no way in hell you can do that here.
Yeah.
I don't want them to start their marriage on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Get
And it's
in over
stressful.
their
That's
head.
you caring about them as a couple
Yeah.
too.
It is.
That's
It
not,
truly
that shouldn't be
is.
confused as
Yeah.
anything else other than you just
Yeah.
care
It's
about
It's not
them.
you being rude. Like recently I did have someone inquire and the budget was lower. And not that they did ask about Westwind, but it was not anything significant to where it would make a difference.
Yeah.
You can't get married at Westwind for $10,000.
No.
you can't do it.
We physically couldn't do it. We built a multi-million-dollar facility and spent a lot of money on developing. We did all the site work from scratch. And if I would have toned it down and made it smaller, or not done all the finishes, or got the furniture from Joss and Maine instead of Restoration Hardware and stuff, like, we wanted to build this caliber of wedding because we knew we would be serving a luxury market.
Yes.
And it's not that we can't, we can do a $12,000 wedding for you on like maybe a Wednesday.
Yeah,
totally.
on like a
you
weekend,
know,
you can make it intimate.
Yeah, for 25 people, an elopement, a true elopement
on a Saturday,
and it would still be beautiful because it's Westwood.
100%. And we've done really small, like I'll call them micro weddings.
I'm a huge fan of like micro weddings, especially.
I know you are.
Yeah, I love it. But it's again, it's not like a a snooty thing.
Are you opposed to getting married on a Wednesday? And they're like, some people are like, no. And I've had Wednesday brides. And I've had Friday, Saturday, Sunday brides.
Yeah. See, like, I would never. Yeah. But that's me.
I think I got married on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, but your wedding
she
style
has 300 people. She's not going to ask them to come in on a Wednesday and
absolutely.
all that work. It's all situational.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, and that's the thing. It's a standard. You guys just have a standard here. And also, to be able to afford nice things to provide for people, it costs money. Not everything's free. Whoa. But like, seriously, like
it's an investment. Having a wedding is an investment, period.
Yeah. It is. And guess what? You're not forced to have a freaking nice wedding either.
Yes. No, you're not.
So if you don't want to do that and it's not a priority,
the
don't do it.
stigma behind making fun of people, I would say not making fun of people, but whether you have like something at a courthouse and having something that guests get to go to, and there's a 5-day event, like making fun of either of those is ridiculous to me, because let them do what they want to do. Yeah. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you aren't forced to go
you're not
and show up and do the whole
that.
thing.
Just like appreciate what each person can do.
Totally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. But no, I mean, it was perfect.
Okay, one more hot topic. I'm pulling this up right now.
Hot topic.
Oh, well, we talked about Pinterest. Okay, we wanted to get a message out. So, and you can hopefully help with this.
Okay, I'm excited.
Basically, when a client ghosts you, how do
I
we
could
feel
talk about that for a long time.
So I'm a huge advocate for Casper the Ghost. Like, love that film. I even love the average ghost film. However, I don't like people that ghost. I think it's rude. I think it's inconsiderate. And I just think if you're not going to go with anyone, you should just kindly respond to them and let them know
100%.
that you have decided to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
That is more, I would appreciate that more than like me having to reach out to you 5 times and say like, hey, I just wanted to see like if you decided to go elsewhere. I completely understand. Like there's no hard feelings. Like obviously we would love for you to, to go with us.
When people email us and they say, we decided to go a different route because of XYZ.
Right.
I'm like, that was so nice. Yeah. Like truly, I think that that's so kind to do that.
Yeah.
Now, do I think every person that inquires, because we have a lot of people who inquire, that we send our information to owes us? No. But if we've invested time into a consultation, if we've toured them, I think it's polite to let them know either way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's different if you have like a lot of, you've had multiple communication with them and they just don't respond. But if it's like a cold inquiry and they don't respond, it's like, okay, whatever. Like I wish you would just like say something, but it's not that big of a deal. But when you've had consultations with them, put in the work, and then you hear nothing, like I can't.
Well, that's why a lot of florists are moving to the minimums and they design later. So, say it's a $10,000 minimum. One of my friends, Ashley McDonald, I don't even know what her minimum is now, but she now has this minimum. You agree to it, and then you do the design later.
Yeah. Okay. You have to have a signed contract with most florists now, and in order for them to even show you anything.
Yeah, because that's their time.
Yep.
You can't put together a quote and all these customizations and mood boards. I mean, it takes them a day's worth of work, and then they do all that for people who are just like price shopping.
I used to do that. I used to do that to book clients, which is like
this is making me laugh because
my mentor was like, "You're crazy for doing that." Yeah, because I would literally put together. I would spend like a week on these design boards to show them like, if you book me, then this is what would happen, and they still wouldn't book me, and I'm like, because they would go with, you know, people that are cheaper than me, which is fine. But I was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
We're just going to go through the steps. And
What was making you laugh?
Well, again, and I hate going back to this all the time, but it is a really similar industry being in real estate, because I am serving people and I'm putting in so much work. I mean, you guys know the market we're in, and I work so hard. If you're a good agent, like you're a good planner and you are a good wedding venue owner and all the other things that you guys do, you're putting in 150% into these people. Yeah. And it's funny because my broker the other day sat us down and was, because we have a contract that we have to have buyers sign that said they're only working with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like to push that on them immediately because I don't want to like scare them and make it too serious too soon. Well, he was like, you guys got to do it or else you're going to get screwed here. Like this is the reality of it. We're in 2024. People are flaky because they think they can be, and you communicate over the phone. You don't have to see someone in face when you tell them you're not working with them anymore. Totally. It's not as personable. Yeah. So, you know, it's funny for me because I've had to realize, okay, you know, if you're going to put in all this work for someone, get that signed, because it means, like what you said, your friend has a contract or you have a contract now. It's worth it. It's worth your sanity, and your time is worth something.
Yeah. There's steps to everything, and now you just have to do it because people are just wasting your time. Yeah.
I think it's totally worth it.
I do too.
Yeah, but I over communicate things, so I don't love the lack of communication from some people. It's just inconsiderate. Yeah. You know? But people are people. Yeah. You can't expect it.
We've been super lucky with the venue. Yeah. With not having a ton of people ghost us. Like, I feel like if they have a tour, they usually let us know within like 24 to 48 hours. Yeah. Like, I know. If not, and they're on a tour parade across the same, like, I know who's serious and who's not instantly. For sure.
Yeah. Like, also, how do you come here and then like even want to go somewhere else? I just like it actually, it's mind blowing to me.
I feel bad though when it's out of reach and they know that,
right?
And then they
come
here.
And that's not their fault. It's just like it doesn't work, and sometimes
I can't ask for like proof of funds.
I know. Well, and sometimes though, like I will be like, oh, I wish we could be like a tad more affordable on the bar. Or Robbie and we go back and forth all the time.
You did tell me that when we sat down. Yeah, you know, I remember you guys being so empathetic about that.
Yeah, like I wish we could make it affordable for everybody. We just
want them to have a good time. Yeah,
yeah. It's just if we want the level of service and the different offerings that we have, like in the amazing employees,
can't lower your quality.
We can't lower our quality.
Yeah, I agree.
So, welcome to 2024, baby.
It just started, and I'm like, when's 2025?
I know. Well, you guys, because you book things so far in advance for your job, so you're always looking at the future.
I do think though, like we opened, so we had a huge backlog of people that were too scared to get married that first year. And then that pushed to the second, and they had like 2-year engagements. Yeah. And now we're starting to normalize a little bit more. I feel a shift, and it's not just within this venue. It's just in the industry total.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think, like, most of our clients are booking 9 to 12 months in advance now. And I'm not saying
that's healthier, right?
It's so much better because it's not a race to like get
I felt like I mean we booked when it wasn't built yet, and I trusted you guys fully, but my mom and I came out to the property and you're just walking around like looking at what's about to be built, and we were like stalking you. I swear.
Yeah, she booked me, and then I was like, where are you getting married? And she was like, Westwood Hills, and I was like,
we booked before we were engaged.
Built yet, Chloe?
Oh yeah,
and she's like,
did.
Yeah. No, I know, but I talked to the owners, and the owner was like, they promise it'll be built. And then I think I contacted you, and I was like, is it going to be done? You were like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were walking up the hill, and I had on my rubber boots, and I was like, congratulations. Did you know when? And she's like, I'm not engaged yet, but we want to get it booked.
Yeah.
Well, because it was all a race back then.
It was. Yeah. It's normalizing.
It was from COVID and everything.
Yeah. I mean, now if you want like an October Saturday,
right?
Like, you probably need to book a little bit far in advance.
I'm an advocate for just booking everything before. Like,
also,
and people get booked up so fast now, so you cannot. I don't think you can.
I'm kind of like a little superstitious on it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, superstitious.
I'm booking things before you get engaged.
No, I'm not saying like you should book things before you engage. Absolutely don't do that.
This was the only thing.
Chloe was like lucky one.
I think it was just you guys and then Joy's team.
Oh yeah, we gotta have Joy.
She came to me and she was like, I booked a venue. I have my makeup artist. I have my photographer. And I was like, oh, when did you get engaged?
We didn't book the photographer yet, but I wanted to.
But she wanted to. And she was, I was like, when did you get engaged? And she was like, oh, I'm not yet. And I was like, oh.
Well, here's my thing too. It's like, I had seen enough, been through enough with the past guys. Great,
Yeah,
all great guys.
She was like, I
just
know.
knew it was Brooks, but that conversation was so funny because we were all the major conversations have happened at his parents' house in Utah, and I like sat him down one night and I was like, so. Like, because we kind of had a timeline of when we wanted to get married and engaged. And I know God's plan is always different than sometimes what we want. But it happened that way. And I was like, would you feel comfortable if we put like a down payment into this? Mm-hmm. And he was like, what is this place? He's like, what is happening? He's like, where? He doesn't, and this
You're
is
like in Pacific,
and nothing has changed. Now that we're married, I still do that to him. Yeah. Hey, can we go move into another house? Where? What? Like,
yeah.
But
you are Robbie and I. We're the exact same.
I know. That's why we hit it off right away. I was like, the energy.
We're the same person. Like, I found our house and I was like, oh, we're gonna move there. He's like, yeah. I was like, no, we really are.
Yes.
And then we did it.
Yeah.
That is a good man.
Yes. Well, no, Brooks really connected with Rob. He's chill like me. It really helps me feel a lot better. And I was like, I know Lauren and I are like running around getting stuff done, like probably before they should even happen.
You know what they say? Happy wife,
happy life. Oh, he knows that. He's repeated that back. And I'm like, I didn't even tell him to say that.
Happy wife, happy life. My husband, when we go out to eat, I order 2 entrees. And then
I love where this is going.
One that I don't like, he will eat.
Wow.
I know.
What a night. Do you take into consideration his preferences when you're ordering?
I know he loves cheeseburgers, right? Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I really want this pasta, but this cheeseburger also looks really good. So I'll like try the fries or something, and then we'll just swap.
I love
my
it.
gosh.
It's
what a
so
man.
Cute. I know. Well, I feel like I could talk to you guys for another 45 minutes, but
yeah.
We're going to cut it off. Maybe we'll have a part 2 one day.
Yeah. A little more raw.
We are having a little baby.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, just in time for our 1-year anniversary.
Can't wait.
Yeah, but we're so excited. I mean, it's a little baby girl.
Excited for you.
Yeah, I know. She'll be here very soon. So we'll
have to do like 1-year pictures out here for her.
Oh, I was already telling her I was going to
be your wedding
about that
for sure.
Stop! Oh my gosh!
In the bridal
if
suite.
I still fit in it.
No, but she can wear it.
Oh gosh!
Have you seen those?
No.
Like, I've done a couple at the studio where the moms bring their dress and the little girls stand in them.
That is so cute.
In the bridal
suite.
Wait,
I like just got chills.
I know.
That's so cute. I know. I was just telling her, I'm like, I'm going to be reaching out to Lauren once that baby shows up.
She did. She did say that earlier today.
I'm the baby pro.
Because I already have it planned, right?
Yeah. She was like, yeah.
I love it.
She didn't say I'm reaching out. She was like, yeah, and Lauren's going to do my, and I was like, oh, okay.
I already know who's going to do what when.
I'm good at babies, I will say.
Yeah.
I love babies.
Oh, I know. We're so excited.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Of course. Thank you for having
us.
us.
We hope you guys learned something today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.